Hello, Sal.
Yes.
How's it going? This is DJ Ramo from the Metal Mixtape in Ashland, Oregon. How's it going, my brother?
All right. Thank you for having me and doing this.
Dude, of course, man. Honestly, when I heard I was going to have the opportunity to interview, I had to wipe twice because I shit myself.
It's no biggie. Thanks, man. I'm just thankful that you are interested in talking to me.
No, for sure. You know what? Anytime I get to talk to somebody who worked his ass off to get where he wants to be in his dreams and have a music as their career, dude, it's always somebody I want to talk to and feed off of.
Right on. Right on.
For sure, man. So, of course, Sal, you've been in the music industry for decades, man. You have all sorts of history. A pale horse named Death, which is absolutely badass. I got to hear Infernum and Terror yesterday, and I love it, man. And I definitely love seeing everybody's comments about it. Anytime you drop any new music, are you ever into your comment section?
Oh yeah, you mean on the social media?
Yeah, exactly, like on videos and stuff.
Yeah. I check everything. I'm hands on. I check everything. I like seeing everything that whether it's the comments on YouTube or comments on Facebook or Instagram. I'm the one that's answering people back.
Dude, that is badass. Is that something maybe you had to adjust to? Because I know, like, back in the 90s, we didn't have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all that, and now everybody has an opinion. Like, how do you? Was that easy for you to acclimate to?
Yeah, it was pretty much natural. It came along, because we started. First it was MySpace in the mid 2000s, and so you started seeing people say things, and you were answering back. And little by little, next thing you knew, Facebook, and it's wasn't really difficult to acclimate or deal with it. It's just going to be frustrating because now everyone thinks they know what they're talking about, and everyone's a keyboard warrior. Maybe that might be the only thing that gets annoying with certain things. But no, it's cool. I think there's pros and cons with everything, with all of it. So, but I do like the fact that it could be someone from anywhere in the world can write something on a page, on the band's page, and they can literally get a response from, me. And I like the fact that I can read someone's comments, or whether it's a compliment or something or a question, and I can answer it, and they can be all in Siberia, and that's the good thing about all of this stuff. We couldn't do that in the 90s. Back in the 90s, it was, or even late 80s, it was like, they had to read an interview that was in the magazine, and that was it. They never, this allows some kind of opportunity to maybe have a direct connection to the band or a band member.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, man. Anytime I talk to any of my older mentors, they always said, you didn't even know what a band looked like until you showed up, and now you can pretty much do a background check on a band before even listening to them.
Exactly. You can, look them up, see what's going on everything. Google, YouTube, Wikipedia. It's almost too much information. It takes the allure and the mystery away. But I am part of that. I'm from a generation that was a transitional generation. We were not born with iPads. We were not born with cell phones. We were not born with computers. But the transition, we were alive for the transition of, like, from vinyl to cassette to CD, and then also, MP3 and computers and social media. And I think there's some good things and bad things about it. I think it's made maybe some people also lazy because they don't go out. Back in the day, you had to leave your house to go see a band at a venue.
Yep.
Nowadays, people can sit in their house and be lazy and watch the show uploaded onto YouTube, and I saw it. So it's not the same, But so there's good things and bad things. It can make people complacent and lazy, and that could hurt bands when they don't leave their house to go see a show. But it's also good things for the accessibility of getting to. A lot of people do discover bands enlighten them through this stuff as well. So it's kind of a hand-in-hand thing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think nowadays, I don't know. I mean, maybe not now, but like, there's a lot of competition. I think with like, now you can buy your own interface for a super cheap price. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars in a studio and still get pretty good quality. It's like everybody can pretty much record their own albums now.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. A lot of studios went out of business because of it. There's, again, pros and cons. There is some things that are missing from not recording in analog, but at the same time, with these digital workstations, you can edit, fix mistakes, switch things around. You got the auto-tune thing for terrible singers, and you can fix drums. You can do a lot of things now with a minimal investment. A few grand, and you're in. You're in. And again, it's a good thing, and it has its pros and cons. But I fortunately, I will say that it has been indispensable because, for example, take the pandemic for
Yep.
instance. I was able to stay locked in my house, and I record pretty much everything anyway. So I was able to work on the record that whole time, and record, and because I have a home studio in my house, and that's it. If I had to go to a studio and physically interact with people, that would have not been possible due to the restrictions and lockdowns that we had going on in various states. Me being here in New York State had some pretty strict conditions, and it was fortunately for FTP, my guitarists, they were able to send me, they were able to record the solos on there and send it to me in high quality, and I was able to import stuff and do it like that too. So, it's a different time. My kids were born with these iPads and all this digital stuff right in their hand. They can't live without it. And I'm just like, wow, when I was a kid, we were building plywood ramps and jumping our bikes off the curb and breaking our heads. That's what we were doing in the 70s and 80s. It's a completely different time.
No, believe me, man, I got a 2-year-old, and I see, like, by the time he's a teenager, VR is going to be like on a completely different level. So I'm definitely trying to watch what he's doing.
Absolutely, it's going in light speeds, and it's again pros and cons because it can be also too much going on where they don't get out. They don't want to go outside. They want to sit on their computer all day or iPad all day playing Minecraft, and it's good things and bad things. It's good to be outside and eat some dirt. That's how I see it. It's good to be outside and do some things that are disconnected from this electronic crap. I mean, look, Steve Jobs didn't even let his own kids, Steve Jobs from Apple, when he was alive, he didn't even let his own kids have an iPad. Okay, he forbid it. He did not let his kids have any of that Apple stuff. Goes to show, like, well, what is,
Yeah, what does he know?
He even hit. Yeah, exactly, because it's very addictive. It can be very addictive. I mean, everyone walks around with their face to the phone. So, there's good things and bad things. Everything should be in moderation. It's a little bit crazy with the social media and everyone believing every crapola thing they read on Facebook.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So, Sal, one of my favorite things to ask anytime I talk to an artist that, has been doing this for a long time. I've seen you from drumming to frontman and all that. But as a kid, or maybe as a teenager, do you have like a first big show or a first big opportunity where you thought that like having a music career might actually be possible? Like maybe like a first big tour that they offered you, a first big act you played with, and maybe like you got on stage and you were just like, holy crap, like this is it. Did you have a moment like that before you started your career off?
I had a bunch of moments like that. I mean, starting at the age of 13, I had done my first real a gig in the junior high school that I went to on stage in a cover band that I was in. We were playing, Iron Maiden and all that stuff, and Ride the Lightning had just come out also, so playing from the Bell Tolls and some Black Sabbath, and I just knew that I loved it. I liked it, and I was also starting to play some local shows and some bars at a young age. And then at 16, I was in a thrash band called Toxemia, and we had an independent record. It was my first record that actually made it into all the bootleg stores and underground music stores. And from there, it went to some a little bit bigger shows in the area where we actually did to open up a show. We opened up a show for at that time Carnivore, because I was already friends with Peter and the guys in Carnivore at that time. And we opened up for Carnivore, Sheer Terror, and Biohazard, and it was like a big show. It was like about 1,000 people, and it was great. And it was in the rock capital of Brooklyn, Lemore's, and I just loved it, and I just wanted to keep on going. And then I didn't really know, but by pot luck, when Carnivore broke up, a year later, I just happened to ask Peter, hey, do you want to just get together and jam or something, or do something interesting? And he already had this idea of bringing keyboards, and he wanted to reunite with Josh, and that's how that all started. And I did my first real tour with Type O Negative, where it was with the Exploited and Biohazard in the United States, and I had a blast. A crazy tour with all these violent punks and stuff, because I guess at that time the singer of Exploited was very political or whatever, and he had the left and the right showing up at the shows, and there'd be brawls and stuff, so that I just knew it was I was trying to do anything to kind of get away from home and feel free at a young age, and so I was already 20 years old when I did that tour, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do. Granted, of all the great things I've done in my life, it's always been an up and down kind of lifestyle. I mean, it wasn't a steady career thing where always was on top of everything, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. All the experiences I got, all the places I got to go to throughout the years, it definitely taught me a lot. It's probably the best education I could have ever gotten. And that's kind of in a nutshell, but the biggest marks in my life was during the teenage years, where I got to do those certain shows that were really cool, and I just liked it. I felt like it was where I belonged, and I felt kind of safe in my skin being behind the kids and going on stage, and I got to be myself when I was really awkward, and I was awkward in regular life. So that's kind of in a nutshell. And hindsight's 20/20. I should have maybe, it was an up and down life, and it wasn't easy. There was good times, bad times. It's all a journey. It's all a journey that ends up hopefully making you wiser by the time you're at an older age. So
yeah, I dig it. What do you think was your biggest adjustment as soon as you started doing your tour in life, like maybe a life adjustment where you were just all right, I got to change this, or I can't tour, or I can't figure this out? Was there a big change you had to make?
I guess sharing personal space with other people.
Okay.
Maybe things like that where you're in a tight situation, especially back in the old days. It was a van, so it was okay, let me sleep on a beanbag here next to this one, and but also back then I also kept myself inebriated. I was always looking to smoke weed or something. It was always okay, that made the time go by. I kind of loved the aspect. What I loved about it was I loved the fact that I was in a different place every day, and I was traveling, and I got to see so many things in the United States and in Europe. So that was the perk for me. That was the incentive to keep me going. Why I couldn't wait to do the next tour.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with a quick side question then. What's your favorite place to tour as far as like you're excited to go eat at like their food or their restaurants? Is there a place where you're just like, oh hell yeah, we're gonna play here and I'm gonna eat right here?
Definitely. Well, it depends on the region, but of course, in Germany would always be. I couldn't wait to get my hands on a schnitzel, and the Hefeweizen beer was like the only kind of beer I really really liked, and so I would always look forward to getting. It's even these truck stops in Germany. They're like amazing. They're not like American truck stops. They would have like kick-ass restaurants and get this giant plate of schnitzel with the pepper gravy on it, and so and of course Italy. That's another one. That's a given. Anywhere in Italy, you can't go anywhere and not have good food. I was always very versatile as far as eating. So, like when I was in London or in England, I always looked forward to like grabbing some Indian food because there was always like really good Indian restaurants in London, and then Holland. There was always good places as well. So after a while, when you do it for a long time, you kind of just know what to order on the menus and stuff. That's really good. So being of European descent, it was kind of easy for me to have that kind of palate to like a lot of different things over there. Mm-hmm. I know some American musicians will show up there and be like, what's this? What's that? Yeah. But I was always open-minded. So I would say like for sure, Germany with all their meats and all their cool bratwursts and schnitzels and beers and of course Italy would always be a given. I did when I was in Spain, it was amazing too. Eating Spanish food over there was incredible. Hey, the list goes on. It's hard to single out one thing.
Hey, I'm sorry. Do they have taco trucks in Spain?
No, because that's Mexican. That would be Mexican. Spain over there is more. It's different depending on the region. What kind it would be different dishes. Like when I was in Barcelona, it was like seafood paella, things like that. But no taco trucks. You gotta go to Mexico for that, bro.
I know, brother.
Just go to the border. I'm sure it's all set up right now over there.
No, I dig it, bro. I come from a Mexican family, so I eat tacos 7 days a week. So.
Oh, my wife makes that. We have tacos. She makes killer tacos, and I love it. But it's not in Spain. It's like completely different. Like I said, it was like the paella, the rice dishes, and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, the seafood was on cook in Barcelona. It was just like these giant shrimps and good stuff.
Dude, that absolutely sounds amazing. So before we get into A Pale Horse Named Death and your new album, you know how like they always say like you don't meet your heroes, because like you might get disappointed if like you meet somebody you look up to and they're kind of a dick. Was there somebody you met maybe on tour or just at a festival that you look up to that was like really cool to you and you were just like really felt great about it?
I don't know. I mean, in a nutshell, I usually would run into bands of equal caliber that acted like a little bit funny. Idol-wise, I mean, no, I never was disappointed that way, but also, mind you, I was a recluse and always kept to myself. I will say that when I was on the Ozzy and Korn tour, Ozzy had Geezer Butler playing bass for him, and he was a sweetheart, and Ozzy was a sweetheart, but then, like, Korn, who was just breaking out at that time, were really, like, not friendly at all to us, and were kind of standoffish, and it was kind of a West Coast, East Coast thing, I guess, going on, because we were from Brooklyn, and so maybe things like that, but I always just was to myself, and I never really would bother people. I've met, like I've hung out with Metallica. 3 out of the 4 would be cool. Things like that. But I'm actually running out of time. I got to do another interview. Actually, now I can give you another minute and push them a minute. But
no worries, man. By the way, I just want to say, Infernum and Terra coming out October 24th. It's absolutely badass. Please go check it out. can you do me a favor before I let you go?
Yeah.
Can you say this is Sal from a pill horse named Death, and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape?
The metal what?
Mixtape.
Mixtape, right?
Tape, like a cassette tape, like a metal mixtape.
Oh, metal mixtape. Got it. And you don't want me to say DJ Ramo or anything?
If you want.
All right. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, this is Sal Abruscato of A Pale Horse Named Death, and you're listening to DJ Ramo on the Metal Mixtape. Crank it up.
Much love, brother. Thank you so much for your time, and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks for the support, and I appreciate it. Thanks for interviewing me. Have a good one, bro.
Much love, brother.